a committee that is set up to oversight the relevant departments, agencies, and ministries of government. That's when the executive arm comes to the National Assembly to defend the budget. That's when the committee sees the budget for the first time.
Let's talk about perception.
Yes.
Let's talk about perception. When the National Assembly says that we will not be a rubber stamp to any government, does this suggest that there is a rift still between the executive and the legislature?
Well, there's usually this healthy debate, and Chamberlain alluded to that fact in the intro to this subject. There is this discussion about where the power of the purse resides. That debate will continue to occupy our space.
Is it healthy?
Well, this is democracy. It's healthy for us to test our constitution, test the constitutional provisions, the constitutional way, which is try them out in our courts. If the executive believes strongly that the parliament does not have the powers that we allude to, the only constitutional way is to go to the courts.
Part of what they say is to introduce new projects. But I'm asking, because when you say that you see the budget for the first time when they present it to you, does that then mean that at the stage where they come for their budget defense, isn't there any input whatsoever if members of the National Assembly are going to introduce new projects? Can that be done at that stage wherein they come forward to defend the budget?
That is when it's done. That is what happens in actual fact. But don't forget, the budget would have been presented. The budget as it's conceived by the executive would have been laid before the parliament. It is that whole document that is broken into different ministries, departments, and agencies that goes to the committees of the House, who then invite the executive to come defend the budget.
If it's done on that stage, why then do they say when the budget comes back to them, they see new projects?
That's the question. That is when the parliament has an input, and that is where the input of the parliament is put in the document before it goes back to the executive.
So that's legal?
Of course it's legal.
Does the parliament have a budget office that liaises or works with the executive arm of government?
Well, the parliament has what we call the NABRO, the National Assembly Budget Research Office. The powers of NABRO is to advise the parliament on budget proposals of the executive. They're answerable to us as parliament, not to the executive. To the extent that they're only answerable to us, there is no direct link between the NABRO and the Budget Office of the Federation. The Budget Office of the Federation prepares the budget with the Ministry of National Planning on behalf of the government and passes on to Parliament. And we in turn are supposed to pass it on to our own technical people to advise us on various aspects of the budget.
So if I get you right, you're saying that the power of the purse doesn't just mean approving or disapproving project, but you can also say, no, we feel this project needs to be done in a certain place, and then you add it for the executive to go ahead and execute.
That's my considered opinion.
Of what the power of the purse means.
So we're going to take a short break. And,
yeah, we'll come back to you in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back. Well, we know we won't have time to focus on as much as we like to this last few minutes, but if I could stretch this a little further, speaking about those constituency projects and the functions of the National Assembly with respect to power of the purse. I know that, yes, the members come from states, various states, they've got local governments as well, but when they now become lawmakers at the federal level, because some of the complaints there is that the projects that they execute, I beg your pardon, that they impute into the budget having to do with their constituencies are those of states, local government areas, which when they put it in a budget, the federal government finds it difficult. They even say that the National Assembly has no right to allocate projects to local government and states.
Well, that's quite interesting because what we have, which is the reality, is that there's a portion, there's an amount in the budget that is reserved exclusively to take care of constituency projects. This amount is set aside wholesale, and that is the amount of money that legislators impute in the budget in respect of their various constituencies.
Boreholes, primary schools?
That cannot be controversial because the amount is predetermined. I don't agree with the concept. I totally disagree with the concept that warehouses less than 1% of 100% to members who represent the totality of the country. I disagree with the concept, but the reality, the fact is, there's an amount that is agreed between the executive and the parliament specifically for those projects. Those are the amounts of money that you find in various constituencies.
Let me make a proposition to you. Since you, as the legislative arm, are closest to the 180 million people that we have in this country, you know where it bites them the most, because you're closest to them. Where then should the budgetary process start? Shouldn't it start from you instead of where it is at the moment?
Well, when the word start is flexible or relative. When you say start, there is no problem with me initiating a project from my constituency. Nothing prevents me from writing to the Ministry of Water Resources to inform that ministry about the need for a water plant in my constituency. That is initiating a project. There's nothing wrong with that, and nothing in our laws precludes that. What we are complaining about is, or what I am complaining about, is the fact that having been given the authority to represent my people, I only have the opportunity to influence their existence only after the executive has made a proposal to me. That is what the problem is.
So at the... Okay, I understand, we'll have to go. Honorable Adeyinka Ajayi is the chairman, House Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management. But I know that we'll have to revisit this subject. There's so many grounds to cover. We appreciate you.
I would love to come back and we take this issue.
And we'll bring you back, certainly. Thank you for coming on today. Well, that's the show today. We thank you all for watching and for your comments as well. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Osal.
Thanks for watching. I am Gimba Umar.
Thank you, Amaokpe Ogun. Have a lovely week ahead.